Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're taking a look at probably the most highly anticipated, sought after piece of new Thomas & Friends merchandise. This is the coveted Ruby Thomas. So this has been released for Mattel's 80th anniversary, not Thomas's 80th anniversary. Coincidentally, Mattel was also founded in 1945. And they have a whole range of Ruby products. There's like a Ruby Barbie, some Hot Wheels stuff. I think there's even like a Ruby Magic 8 Ball. But probably the most highly anticipated out of all of those is this Ruby Diecast Thomas. This is not yet out in stores in America. I'm not sure when this will be out, but I bought this from a website known as Pop Market. I'm not sure if they have any more of these in stock, but I'll put a link in the description below and in the comments if you want to try and order this. But I'd say you should probably wait until these guys come out in stores. But this has been probably the best-selling Thomas item ever, from what I can tell. He was on Amazon, no lie, for 20 minutes before he sold out earlier this summer. So I pre-ordered this guy back in July, and he just arrived today. So I'm very, very pumped to get him out of the packaging. So speaking of the packaging, we'll start by taking a look at the box. It is very, very different than what the regular Thomas packaging looks like, because this is for Mattel's 80th. But it looks really, really cool. We have a kind of facade outline of the Thomas & Friends logo with the Fisher-Price logo up there. The big 80th Mattel logo right there. The Metal Collection banner along the side here. Then we have the, I guess, part of the Mattel logo in the back here. And then we have Thomas in the packaging down here with his two pieces of rolling stock. And then right underneath him we can see his name. We also have 3+ down there. I think this packaging is awesome. I think there's, if I'm going to nitpick, there's a little too much like dead space up here. You could have moved this up, but that's a total nitpick. I think this packaging is so beautiful. I don't have another one of these at the moment, but I do want to get another one to keep new in the box because, one, I think it looks really cool, but there's also a slight problem with this item, which I'll get to once we get them out of the packaging here. But here's the back of the box, which is a little more notable than the previous 80th Thomas boxes. We have Thomas's name nice and big up there, and then we have the color Thomas & Friends logo right here. Yeah, nice big, I think somebody pointed this out a little while ago, a nice big created by Britt Allcroft logo. I don't know if that was intentional to coincide with Britt Allcroft's passing earlier this year, but if that was the case, that's really, really sweet. Yeah, I think the back of the box is a little more interesting. I would have liked to have seen something more informative. Maybe something, talking about Mattel's history and how they acquired Thomas or something, but that's not what the kids really care about. The kids really care about this stuff. So, we're going to be opening this a little bit differently because I want to keep this slightly new in the box. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut ahead in the video, but I'm going to open this like how people open Bachman items. Instead of like ripping the plastic off from the card, I'm going to use my my box cutter here, and I'm going to slit along the plastic here so we can just like open this up a little bit and then dump Thomas out. So I'm going to cut ahead in the video to when I have Thomas out, and we'll take a look at him in hand. Alright, so I got the box open here. Let's get him out. Hopefully I opened it enough. There we go. Oh, that looks really, really cool. Let's be careful with these guys. So I guess I'll get this off the... Or I guess I'll just mention this right off the bat. Apparently, the silver paint on these trucks is so cheap that if you do as much as rub your finger across, it rubs off. So I'm going to try my best not to touch these trucks, adding to the reason why I want to keep this somewhat new in the box here. But we'll get to these later. Let's take a look at the Thomas first. I am very, very impressed with this. This is really, really cool. Wow, look at this guy. What a looker here. So this is pretty much the exact same mold as the regular single version of Thomas in the new diecast line, but with a couple differences. For one, he's got the really, really nice, like, metallic red running board here. That's really nice. There have been, somebody talked about this in their review, but there have been, like, metallic blue versions of Thomas in diecast form where his body is all metallic, but then his running board is just the regular red. But this has been inverted. I think this looks really, really cool. I would have absolutely loved if the blue was metallic along with the running board, but that would have cost probably like $20. But I'm totally fine with this. The side rods are also metallic gray. That looks nice. As is the whistle up there. That whistle is awesome. I really, really wish we had the like shiny gold whistle on the regular Thomas, because this is beautiful. But what's interesting to note about this Thomas is that he does not have the rivets or the handrails. I think I like this a little bit more. I really like the rivets and the handrails on the diecast Thomas, but I think this looks a lot cleaner. It'd be interesting to see if somebody should swap the body with a regular diecast Thomas and this one, put the body from that on the running board of this and see how that would look. That'd be pretty cool. But the face is also slightly different. I think I like this one a lot more than the regular tube or the regular single Thomas. I think this looks a lot more natural. Yeah, not much else to really talk about with this one. It's pretty stock standard. Yep, Thomas's name, still assembled with one screw and one bolt. Yeah, he looks fine. I'll bring out the regular diecast Thomas really quickly. We can see the differences here. So this one's kind of looking up, which I still do like the idea of this, but I like this face a lot more. It looks a lot more natural. I also really like how the buffers on this are painted, though they are not painted on the back. I did come along and paint the buffers on the back of this Thomas here. But you can see the rivet detailing actually makes a significant amount of difference. Yeah, I think I do like this one a little more, but the rivet detailing looks nice on here regardless. And I love the whistle on this so much more than this one. I mean, look at that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, virtually the same. The wheels are the same. The side rods here are like a gunmetal, like darker gray. These ones are silver, which look pretty cool. This is very reminiscent of in like season 19, around that era is when they went into the CG models and I guess kind of cleaned up everything, and they made the side rods really like shiny and metallic. That's what this is reminiscent of to me. But yeah, you can really see just how different the running boards are. I do like the bright red one here, but this ruby one is just really nice. Wow. I will note though, I think the connecting, like the part that connects the side rod to the chassis here does stand out a bit more on this one than this one. It's a lot more disguised here because it's darker. This one stands out a lot more. So I think this one is more notable in that regard of being able to hide that and make this look a little more natural. This one stands out a bit more. I mean, if you put it like this, you can't really tell, but sitting like this, it's not the greatest in the world. But yeah, I think this is awesome. It's a really, really nice version of Thomas. So I'll get this guy out of here. We'll bring in the trucks very carefully. I even saw people say that if you were to just set these on your shelf, they start to deteriorate after like 2 days. So after I'm done with this video, I'm gonna put them back in the box here and then put them on a shelf, because I do not want these to deteriorate. But these trucks are pretty cool. These are technically the first pieces of rolling stock in the new diecast line. I know technically there are new versions of Annie and Clarabelle coming out in like a multi-pack later this year. And these aren't technically like new molds. These are reused from the All Engines Go line. I think these came with a Shima and maybe like another Thomas 3-pack. I don't know off the top of my head, but these are kind of like clashing styles. Like this is very All Engines Go, very simple. This is very like intricate and very detailed. So yeah, but I do like the red wheels on this. They contrast pretty well with the silver and the ruby red crystals in the cars. And I do like how we have 2 of them. I'm not going to actually. You know what? I'll try and uncouple them. There we go. Yeah, I mean, the silver paint looks nice. It's nice and reflective. Can you see me? A little bit. There you go. There you can see me. Um, it's nice and reflective, but it just seems kind of cheap. I don't know if you can see that right there, but around that like paint bubble thing or rivet, there's like a circle around it, which is kind of ugly. But yeah, I have no plans to like keep this out on my shelf if they're just gonna deteriorate over time. I think I think the crystals are removable, but I don't really want to try and take them out for risk of scratching or breaking anything. So I'll leave them in for now. Yeah, I think this is a great little pack, and I mentioned earlier how kids would be really into this. I personally think this was designed more for fans, and I think this was designed with the intention of keeping it brand new in the box. Like you can open it and play with it, but I think similar to the new Railway Series Thomas from Mattel, this was designed specifically for fans to display on their shelves, and I think this is probably one of the prettiest Thomas toys we've seen in a long time. So once this guy comes out in stores, I'd highly recommend you go and pick this up. I'm definitely going to get maybe one or two more because this is a nice looking item, especially in the box. So that's going to do it for this video here. Not really much to talk about here. I don't really want to do many comparisons because I already kind of did that in the diecast video. But I think this is a really nice toy. So that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later.